Hello everyone, I am Dr. Dayanand GK, Associate Professor from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Mangalore. And my colleague, Professor Savita Acharya, Assistant Professor, Department of EC, Canara Engineering. She also associated with this subject. So here, in Verilog HDL module, so we are going to study about basics of hardware description language, and different types of descriptions are there. Some advanced topics like task functions and some simulation, timing simulation, they are also included as per discussion from previous class. So before going to start Verilog HDL, so now we have a basic questions. What is the necessity of HDL and where it's used? And, why we require HDL? All these things. So before going to start that one, so we have an introduction part. So why this IC? What is IC? Then types of material in IC. Then what is Moore's law? History of IC. Then types of IC. Why design of IC required? Then digital logic design using this HDL tool, or ASIC versus FPGA, means application specific integrated circuit versus field programmable gate array, and why this hardware description language we required, that one. Now, so first we'll see what is IC. So IC stands for integrated circuit. So integrated circuit means, so all the components, whatever discrete components are available in a circuit, like diode, then resistance, capacitance, inductance, and transistors, all these things are a discrete components. If you are combining in a circuit, and if you are making a circuit in a single chip, is called integrated circuit. I think you have studied all these things in analog electronics circuit lab or digital electronic circuits lab. So you have built some circuits, and you have given some input and you got some output. So it will give the functionality of that IC. Now IC consists of all these components like transistor, then diode, resistance, capacitance, etc. So how these components are made? So what are the things you require for this IC? So next slide I'll explain the types of materials we require for integrated circuit. I think you already know that there is a three types of materials are there: conductor, semiconductor, and insulator material. All these three types of materials are used to fabricate any integrated circuits. So here inside the integrated circuit you have different types of material like conductors, semiconductors, and insulator material. So conductor materials like silver, gold, copper, aluminum, etc. Then insulator materials like you may have a different types of insulator, maybe a silicon dioxide or a plastic. All these things we are using for as a insulator material. As well as semiconductor, you have different types of semiconductor materials are there. So major material is silicon here, as well as compound semiconductor material like gallium arsenide, indium phosphate, silicon germanium compound are also used to design or fabricate a IC. So here major material we are used in current industry is silicon only. So silicon is nothing but a, so it's a sand in nature. You'll get a silicon dioxide form like sand. So after that we'll purify that sand into 99.99% pure, and we'll get a pure silicon material. Now we'll discuss about why IC. So design of this IC. Is it necessary to design a integrated circuit? So what's the importance of this design, or what's the necessity of this IC? So now, so can you compare a device, mobile device of Motorola they found in 1980s, same device with now in 2020? Can you compare same device here? So previously in 1980s they found like table like structure of mobile device. So two-person they had to carry that device. Now same Motorola they released Moto Razr. It's around 5.5 mm thickness that device. So just compare the size. So when you are going for any design, see size, see it has to reduce from, see, like table size to the device, whatever 5 mm thickness device. Again, as well as the power also. So this is another factor that, so previously we are giving all charges as a 12 volts or 15 volt as a input to the that device. Nowadays you are getting 5 volts like charging points. So you can compare that. And power dissipation also, the device which will dissipate less power now, and the speed also very high compared to previous device. The evolution of this IC, the main features of reducing power dissipation, or reducing the size, or increase in the speed, these are the main three features we require for designing any ICs. So very small size, it can accommodate lot of memory, like, and low power consumption means it will reduce just power dissipation, as well as you'll get a day like battery backup, and reduce the cost also. This is also very important factor. Gordon Murray, he predicted in 1965 that every 1.5 years or 18 months, the transistors count doubles in a square centimeter. Means, I will give one example that in 2018, if we are having a 1 billion transistor in a square centimeter area, so same in 2020, so you will get a 2 billion transistor in same square centimeter area, like that. So in another way you can predict like that. So every 1.5 year the transistor size reduces to half. So this is the Moore's law, and we have categorized these different types of scales of integration. So it's given like that. So integration levels are small scale integration around 10 gates, and medium scale integration around 1000 gates, and large scale integration 10,000 gates, and large scale it's 100,000 gates, like it's called as VLSI, very large scale integration. So This is regarding the Moore's law. So here you can see here the curve going like this. So linearly, so you can fit here. Now we'll discuss about the history of integrated circuit. First, transistor means the main backbone of integrated circuit is a transistor. You can make anything using transistor. So you can make a amplifier, switch, or whatever the application you require, you can make using this transistor, either digital or analog circuit. The first transistor was found in 1947 by John Bardeen and Walter Brittain and Bell Labs at Bell Labs, and they found first transistor. See the size of the transistor is like huge size, so like a table like a structure. So after that, in 1958, so by Jack Kilby, so he made a first integrated circuits around 4 of 4 to 10 transistor, and he integrated and made a flip-flop using two transistor and build Jack Kilby in Texas Instrument and Robert Noyce also. So you can see the size of the transistor, so like bulky in size, so it's a huge size. So after that, they the whatever IC trends came up with huge factors like reducing the size, reducing the power dissipation, and increase the speed. All these things we will discuss in next slides. In 1970s, so the first most transistor circuits are found by Intel. They found like this. This is the structure of Intel had a NMOS transistors, and the RAM SRAM size, and this is the processor, 4-bit processor. You'll laugh now. So previously 4-bit processor means it's a great. So now in your mobile phone you'll get like 16 processor, 8 processor, or 4 processor mobile phones. This is a trends in Intel processor. In 1970s, you have 4-bit, 8-bit, then you have Intel 3 series, 4 series, then Intel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 processor like. So you got in 2000. Nowadays we are getting i3, i5, i7 processor. So it's not only single processor. You have a um, 4 processor, 8 processor, quad, octa, or hexa processor in a single chip. This is the structure of Intel Pentium 4 processor. So it's like a square centimeter, around 200 mm width and square centimeter width. So you can see huge circuits inside. You'll get a RAM, ROM, then processor, different registers, then some standard IOs. All these things are integrated inside this processor. You can see the complexity here. The modern transistor, the size of a transistor, it's around zero point 0.1 micron or less. Now Intel also found like 5 mm, 5 nanometer technology, means transistor size is around 5 nanometer. So hair size is around 80 to 90 micron in a diameter. So can you compare that one with this transistor size? Means this reduced size and reduce the area also. The major advantage of the silicon is its die. So whatever wafer we are getting here, so in a single wafer, how many transistors you can manufacture? Like for example, here you can see this is the wafer, single wafer, and these square boxes are uh, they are integrated circuits. If more number of integrated circuit you can fabricate, means less cost also reduces.